Travel as a form of communication has been made simple through the invention of the motor car, which can travel 7 miles in a very short time. Due to various irregularities on the roads like potholes, careless driving, overspeeding, and a host of others, the chances of motor cars getting involved in accidents cannot be overlooked. As such, devices like the seatbelts and airbags have been made.
Basically, airbags are meant to serve as security for lives and property in our vehicles.
On the news tonight, heads of state and government of Lake Chad Basin Commission approve immediate deployment of contingents to the multinational joint task force. Internally displaced persons in the Northeast get respite, a gesture by 3 United States agencies. And service your debt or risk being named, Central Bank of Nigeria tells debtors. A warm welcome to NTA Network News. I am Elizabeth Banu. The extraordinary summit of heads of state and government of the Lake Chad Basin Commission and Benin Republic ended in Abuja with the approval of the immediate deployment of national contingents to the multinational joint task force by 30th July 2015. Segun Laole reports.
Of the Lake Chad Basin region is how to sustain the momentum of fighting insurgency in the region. The summit therefore offers them the opportunity to finalize the instrument of the multinational joint task force to be based in N'Djamena, Chad, and also all emergency development programs of the commission. At the end of deliberations, the heads of state and government agreed on the need to support the military operations with an emergency development plan in favor of vulnerable population in the region in order to fight the root causes of insecurity relating to poverty. The leaders therefore approved the concept of operations, the strategy, operational and related documents of the multinational joint task force and deployment of national contingents, including a sum of $30 million for the installation and equipping of the headquarters. The heads of state also approved the establishment of the executive secretariat at the headquarters of the mission, including the nomination of 3 key posts of Force Commander, Deputy Force Commander, and Chief of Staff.
Our campaign against insurgency must therefore be directed on all fronts, starting from limiting their capacity to access funds and weapons. We must therefore strengthen our cross-border patrols and increase our capacity to gather and share intelligence. In this regard, I urge that all necessary steps be immediately taken to reinvigorate the Regional Intelligence Fusion Unit, RIFU.
The leaders who jointly addressed journalists at the end of the meeting also requested the support of the African Union in its joint operations, including logistics and finance. While seeking the support of strategic partners like the European Union, France, United Kingdom, and the United States, the leaders are also seeking a declarative statement by the President of the United Nations Security Council in support of the operations of the multinational joint task force against Boko Haram.
Internally displaced persons have to be encouraged to return home and be rehabilitated. Their children to go back to school and the environment to be secure enough for them to pursue their legal ways of life.
As the summit ended here in Abuja, President Muhammadu Buhari reiterated its earlier pledge to continue to hold consultations with other neighboring states until insurgency is brought to an end. From the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, venue of the summit, Segun Laole, NTA News.
In the meantime, 3 United States agencies are supporting Nigeria with $10.5 million as grant for humanitarian assistance for internally displaced persons in the Northeast. This is coming as the United States of America shows confidence in the ability of the Muhammadu Buhari administration to address the security challenges in the zone. Musa Babaliu has details.
The $10.5 million grant is expected to support the activities of the United Nations Population Fund, UNICEF and WHO to improve access to healthcare services for affected population in Borno, Adamawa and Yobe states. Areas of intervention include reproductive health, communicable and non-communicable diseases, water and sanitation, as well as management of gender-based violence.
The scale-up of ongoing interventions through this partnership with the United States government will benefit 1 million people in Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa.
Governors of Adamawa, Yobe, and Borno states welcome the development, hoping that the challenges of insecurity and its devastating effects will soon be over.
We, at our end as government, are making every effort possible in conjunction with the federal government of Nigeria to ensure that all these areas destroyed by the insurgents are either reconstructed or rehabilitated so that the IDPs can go back to their homes and live a normal life.
The United States welcomes President Buhari's commitment to taking the necessary actions to end the Boko Haram insurgency. I have assured Mr. President that he has no greater partner in that effort than the United States.
The 3 United Nations agencies are confident that with their support and that of federal government, survivors of insurgency will very soon see semblance of a normal life and reclaim joy and happiness taken away from them. In Abuja, Musa Baba Aliyu, NTA News.
And the National Emergency Management Agency, NEMA, has flagged off the distribution of drugs to internally displaced persons camp in Borno State as part of efforts to address urgent medical needs of the IDPs. Hamad Jabani completes the report.
Drugs, which includes anti-malaria, antibiotics and other consumables, will be distributed to all internally displaced persons camp in Borno State. Presenting the drugs to the IDPs of Government College and Yerwa Government Girls College, but in Maiduguri, the Director General NEMA, Sani Sidi, who was represented by Northeast Coordinator of the agency, Mohammed Kanar, said the critical medical need of the IDPs necessitated the immediate distribution of the drugs.
It's going to be a continuous process. In fact, arrangement has been completed with the Borno State government to make sure that these camps are managed properly, adequately, to the time when we are going to return these IVDs to their respective homes.
He said NEMA will also provide beds and other essential items needed at the camps, as federal government will do everything possible in feeding the IDPs in the state. Receiving the drugs, the principals of the schools thanked NEMA for taking up the feeding of the IDPs in the state, as Borno State government has been doing everything possible in keeping up the IDPs. In Maiduguri, Hamman Jabani, NTA News.
Still in Borno State, the Command and Control Center for Counter-Insurgency Operations in the state has taken off with the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Kenneth Minima, on ground to boost the morale of the troops. Defense correspondent Muhammad Abdul Kadir reports on the Chief of Army Staff's visit to the Northeast and the burial of Flying Officer Duke Linus, one of the victims of insurgency.
At the 7th Div Strike Group and 121 Special Force Battalion located in Puka, the Chief of Army Staff received operational briefs and commended the troops for turning the tide against the elements. While encouraging them to be dedicated and disciplined, he acknowledged their bravery that led to the recovery of armored personnel carriers and T-55 battle tank.
By the time we end this thing quickly, we will return back to barracks. Our normal life will continue. Everybody will have his Amanda Fear medal. And you have stories to tell. At 26 Task Force Brigade Goza, where the troops banished the headquarters of the current support. Meanwhile, the remains of the Flying Officer Duke Linus, who died defending the country in the Northeast, have been laid to rest at the military cemetery, Abuja.
Nigerians realize that your sacrifice was not just to prevent the deaths of many others, but to ensure that the integrity of our dear nation is intact.
The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Adesola Amosu, and top officers, including the representative of the Defense Staff, described the Flying Officer Duke as a professional who laid down his life for his country. In Abuja, Muhammad Abdel Kadri, NTA News.
Now to the National Assembly. The House of Representatives has conveyed a message to the President and to the Senate informing them of the election of a Speaker and a Deputy Speaker for the 8th House of Representatives. National Assembly correspondent Ifeanyi Okafor reports that the Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, has pledged to reunite and rally all members to pursue the common objective of a vibrant and successful legislature.
The Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, at the sitting of the House, directed the clerk to communicate the development to the President and the Senate.
The Honorable Yakubu Dogara, representing Bogoro Jastafa Abelewa Federal Constituency of Bauchi State, has been elected the Speaker of the House of Representatives. The Honorable Yusuf Suleiman Lassen, representing Eripodun Olorunda Orolu Oshogbo Federal Constituency of Osun State, has been elected the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives.
In another development, lawmakers from Gombe State have paid a courtesy visit to the Speaker, pledging their unflinching support for the new leadership. The visit by the Gombe State members was followed by members from Kano, Jigawa, Adamawa, Katsina, and Imo states. The issues raised by the members centered mainly on uniting the House following the tension arising from the elections. The Speaker, Yakubu Dogara, promised to bring about stability in the House and speedy enactment of legislation.
And we'll do everything, even if it means reaching out to the opposition, sure that government programs do not stagnate here. We will do it in the interest of the presidency, which God has given us, and in the interest of our party.
From the National Assembly, Ifeanyi Okafor, NTA News.
Now, with the inauguration of the 8th National Assembly, eyes will certainly be on female parliamentarians on agenda setting for needs of women, children and the youth. National Assembly correspondent Aisha Tuzango Abdullahi spoke to some of them on their hopes and aspirations as they may ask for special concession at legislative proceedings to be heard and to make their points.
Despite their lean population, the female parliamentarians of the 8th Assembly were in high spirits, taking part in all the inaugural activities that ushered in the 8th National Assembly.
This is going to be a very robust session, a session where we have a lot of intellectuals discussing Nigeria, discussing the economy, and discussing the issues that will put our country in the right perspective.
I pray that this time around we'll be able to enact laws that will favor the citizenry of this nation, that will help infrastructural development and also help the power sector, that our security will be, good.
Although some of them are returning senators and representatives, others are coming into the two hallowed chambers for the first time. Those who spoke to NTA News say top on their legislative agenda is the issue of the girl-child education.
We're looking very seriously at the gender agenda, diversification, Nigeria's foreign policy, Nigeria's climate change policy.
I hope that there will be an all-inclusive parliament whereby every member, whether ranking or not ranking, will have a sense of belonging.
The 8th Assembly is going to be proactive. We will work with the government and make sure that we'll tell them or we'll force them or we coax them to follow due process.
And Nigerians' hopes and aspirations will be achieved through 8th Assembly because we are seeing the determination in the members.
The dissolved 7th Assembly had a total of 31 female legislators, with 7 in the Senate and 24 in the House of Representatives. However, this figure has drastically reduced, especially in the House of Representatives, with only 16 female lawmakers, even though the number has slightly increased in the Senate with 1. From the National Assembly, Aisha Zango Abdullahi, NTA News.
Ahead on the news tonight, Why do students have phobia for mathematics? Find out after this timeout.
Would you like some water? It's cold, especially for you.
Which era are you living in? We have a fridge.
When everything else in your house is from the present, then why are your toilet cleaning methods from the past? Harpic all-in-one for you. Compared to other toilet cleaners, Harpic removes top stains, kills all germs, and removes bad odors. For a shining clean and fresh toilet.
Wow!
You should also take the Harpic
all-in-one challenge.
The National Broadcasting Commission hereby invites all stakeholders to a 2-day workshop on content production in the digital era. The workshop is aimed at preparing and equipping stakeholders for the digital switchover. Broadcast content producers, directors, researchers, script writers, cameramen, editors, set designers, presenters, reporters, and all broadcast stakeholders are cordially encouraged to attend. Date 16th to 17th June 2015. Time 9 a.m. each day. Venue Welcome Center Hotel, 70 International Airport Road, Lagos, Nigeria. Registration fee 20,000 naira per participant. Participants will be responsible for their transportation and accommodation. Come and benefit from the wealth of knowledge and experience of eminent broadcast personalities and resource persons assembled by the National Broadcasting Commission. Confidently into the digital era. This is a priceless investment. NBC, your right to quality broadcasting. Management. Announcer.
Know that you are exposed to up to 100 illness-causing germs every day. I encourage my kids to learn new things, and if they get hurt, I rely on my Dettol to fight germs. It's like my own first aid kit. My family needs protection from germs. My Dettol disinfects surfaces and clothes, keeping them clean and safe from germs.
What happened? It was a mosquito. Up! Up! Daddy, here!
What's happening here?
Mama, mosquitoes!
I sprayed, but the mosquitoes aren't dying. No longer, because I've bought Motain Power Guard, which kills 100% mosquitoes. Motain Power Guard kills 100% mosquitoes.
Want your bathroom to dazzle? Give your toilet the Hypo treatment to brighten and also kill germs, so your bathroom stays disinfected and squeaky clean.
The message of hope across the land. Stay together as one. All the obstacles disappear. Let's open up our hearts. Let's open up our hearts and cherish this piece of the earth that God has given us.
2013. After a superlative performance at the Nations Cup, Mikel Obi of the Super Eagles and Chelsea Football Club England was made king of the pitch.
Yes, who will be king of the pitch for 2014? Nigerians have already made their choice. Mfon Udo of Enyimba FC and Nigeria, Ahmed Musa of CSK Moscow and Super Eagles, Vincent Enyama of Lille FC France and Super Eagles. And who will be the queen of the pitch for 2014? Nominees are Courtney Dike of Oklahoma State University and Falconet, Aisha Oshoala of Liverpool Ladies England and Super Falcons, and Desire Okbaranoze of Gunigam France and Super Falcons. And who will be the football-friendly governor of the year? The nominees are Dr. Goswell Akpabio, Senator Liel Imoke, and Babatunde Rajifashola SAN. And other awards up for grabs are Goalkeeper of the Year, Defender of the Year, Midfielder of the Year, Striker of the Year, Referee of the Year, Club of the Year, and Coach of the Year. The Nigeria Pitch Awards. Date June 13th, 2015. Venue Royal Tropicana Hotel, Isakaita Road, Kaduna. Time 8 p.m. Nigeria Pitch Awards. Nigeria's own football awards.
See you there.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. The Central Bank of Nigeria is worried over existing bad debts owed commercial banks to the tune of 390 billion naira. The Apex Bank, at the end of its 322nd meeting of the Bankers Committee in Abuja, directed debtors to service their loans before August or risk their names being published. Joy Uzo has details.
Major concerns of the Apex regulator include liquidity and credit performance. Out of the existing 13 trillion naira credit in the country, 3% are not performing. CBN's Director of Banking Supervision, Tokumbo Martins, directed all banks to ensure that debtors pay up before August 1st.
Banks were encouraged to speak to their customers that fall into that category, that they should put in more effort to pay up on their loans.
The committee said it has recorded progress in the cashless policy initiative in the 6 pilot states and is extending the policy to other states of the Federation. Also disclosed were innovations of banking and financial services. Top among the agenda of the meeting is a bank verification number enrollment exercise, in which the committee reviewed that about 12.5 million bank customers have been successfully enrolled.
By 30th of June, if you haven't enrolled, it is possible that you may not be able to enjoy any of the banking services.
Media representatives sought clarification on regular complaints bordering on excessive bank charges.
When complaints come to us, we follow up. They also have examination that they do periodically from bank to bank.
The 322nd Bankers Committee meeting was an avenue to announce innovations as well as preferred solution to challenges in Nigeria's banking system. In Abuja, Joy Uzo, NTA News.
In another development, legal lead counsel to the EFCC in the alleged CBN 8 billion naira fraud has told a federal high court that operatives have discovered another set of boxes containing mutilated 3,960 million naira. He, however, remarked that the boxes are yet to be opened as they were suspected to be laced with acid. Correspondent Abdurrauf Kamaruddin has details.
Said to their case persons in their argument for bail applications maintained that the plea for the temporary liberty of their claims became necessary to have access to information from them to assist them at the trial.
That the atmosphere at Agodi prison yard where they have been detained is not really conducive.
There is no privacy between a client and his solicitor.
AF's counsel, Rotimi Jacob, SAN, who described the argument by counsels to their case persons as incredibly defective, argued that the evidence against their case persons are worthy and that they may not want to face trial if granted bail. He told the court that one of their case persons has confessed that he is in possession of illegal petrol station worth 15 million naira, while another said he had received 16 million naira as proceeds from their deal for producing wrappers and stickers of a commercial bank to perpetrate their deal. He also informed the court that one of their case persons who had earlier escaped has been found and brought to the police by his family members. The presiding judge, Justice Adeyinka Faji, adjourned the matter till Friday, June 19 for ruling. From Ibadan, Abdul Kamadin, NTA News.
Legacy Pension Managers Limited has approved a dividend of 50 kobo per share for its stakeholders in the year 2014, against 14 kobo in the previous year. The chairman, Legacy Pension Limited, announced this at the company's 7th annual general meeting in Abuja. Laure Bala Hassan has details.
Annual general meeting, which brought together board of directors and members of Legacy Pension Managers Limited, is aimed at receiving the financial statements of the year ended 31st December 2014, appoint statutory auditors and authorize directors to fix the remuneration of its auditors, elect and re-elect directors, as well as approve payment of dividends to shareholders, among others. Chairman of the company said the passing into law of the Pension Reform Act 2014 is a milestone for the industry, which currently boasts of about 6 million contributors with an asset base in the region of 4.6 trillion naira.
We remain where we are at the top end of the market. That's our major objective, and we see ourselves in the 5 years actually consolidating on our growth and expanding massively.
Managing Director, Legacy Pension, said the company is poised to continuously deliver value to its shareholders even in the face of daunting challenges, adding that the company has done profitably well in the year under review.
Our profit before tax has increased by 24%. And profit after tax by 39%. So we have done 630 million after tax, which is a big improvement from 454 in 2013.
Some shareholders of the company who are happy with the approval of the new dividend speak.
In the very difficult business environment in Nigeria, very few businesses you will be able to invest money and get 50 kobo dividend at the end of the year.
As any investor will feel happy to take home a very good rate as a payout for his investment. And I think for the last 3 years they have been doing great.
Appointment of Nuruddin Abdurrahman Rafindadi as non-executive director was also approved. In Abuja, Laure Bala Hassan, NTA News.
Creating awareness on human rights issues dominated discussions when a delegation of the National Human Rights Commission visited the Director General of NTA here in Abuja. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday has details.
These are partners in progress, re-solidifying their relationship with the aim of fulfilling their mandates of fighting for the rights of Nigerians and providing excellent television service to project the true African perspective.
It might amaze people that up till now, many Nigerians do not even know their rights.
Director, Conflict Prevention, Ethics and Good Governance, Augustina Nwodo, reaffirms the commitment of the Commission to continue to protect the rights of Nigerians and non-Nigerians in the country.
So you know about their poor killings. We have been there. In the area of democracy, we've been there trying to not to let Nigerians be disenfranchised. We have been monitoring elections. We've been doing quite a lot. So.
Executive Director News, Shola Atere, who represented the Director General, says NTA is always willing to collaborate with institutions like the National Human Rights Commission as the voice of the voiceless.
And that is why, over the decades, NTA has always had programs on the judiciary, on law, where such things as the rights of people, how to pursue it, how to protect it, are being analyzed, are being discussed.
The visit is ahead of the commemoration of the 20 years since the creation of the Commission in September 2015. Adebola Brookslyn Sunday, NTA News.
A bit on education now. Many philosophers refer to it as the Queen of Sciences. But the irony is that the subject of mathematics has become a nightmare to some students, especially at the secondary school level. More than 900,000 students wrote the subject at the ongoing NACO Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination. And Franca Uzoma Olwa gives us reason for students' phobia for the subject.
Divide 25 by 2. 25 divided by 2.
Mathematics as a study of topics such as quantity and space is used throughout the world as an essential tool in many fields of natural science, engineering, medicine, finance and social sciences. In recent past, performance of students in the subject of mathematics has not been very encouraging. Statistics show that between 2005 and 2009, percentage of pass in mathematics in external examinations fell below the expectations of Nigerians.
We have no respect for arithmetic. If we can respect arithmetic, we will get education and most of our problems right. A school needs 200 teachers. We give 8. There is no respect for arithmetic.
Many attribute the development to poor quality of teachers and declining reading culture among students.
If we don't get the correct materials to be teaching the students in terms of teacher quality, you can't expect the students to do wonders.
If the curriculum is narrowed down and made simpler for the students to understand, you find out that students will no longer find it difficult to read 12, 15 textbooks for just one subject, just to pass WAEC.
And to ensure a hitch-free examination, members of NACO Governing Board visited some centers to monitor the Senior Secondary School Certificate Examination. More than 60,000 candidates are participating in the examination in the 3 states of Adamawa, Yobe, and Borno.
Almost all parts of Nigeria have been adequately secured, but additional security measures have been taken in especially Borno, Yobe, and Adamawa states.
The examination is expected to end on the 10th of July. In Abuja, Franca Uzoma Olwa, NTA News.
This is NTA Network News. Now time to join Vera in our Lagos studios for more stories from that zone. Over to you, Vera.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good evening. This is Lagos. They were forced to vacate their Papa Ijora Road for constituting nuisance following a 48-hour ultimatum issued by the Lagos State government in May this year. Barely 28 days down the line, trucks and tankers are not only back on the roads, but are stationed on bridges, thereby making life difficult for road users in the state. Musa Toliat has a situation report on the gridlock.
An anguish now characterized driving on Funchal Williams Avenue, a major highway within Lagos metropolis. This is because the tankers and trucks are parked on the roads leading to Apapa and Ijora axis, resulting in needless man-hour loss on the highway. For motorists who are trapped between several trucks and tankers, the experience is traumatic.
I'm a taxi man. Since 2 hours now, I never go since 2 hours.
Most commuters have now resorted to trekking long distances due to the inability of commercial drivers to wriggle out of the traffic gridlock.
From Moshi, I now trek, reach this Alaka.
If you are going on this airdrop, I think by 3:34 you can get to Lagos Island.
There's no vehicle. Even when I was coming, I stood more than 2 hours at the boundary before getting to.
However, it took the intervention of security agents to bring about sanity on the road, as the trucks were restricted to a lane while a passage was created for easy movement of other road users. In Lagos, Musa Tolian, NTA News.
The emergence of principal officers of the National Assembly had continued to generate divergent views across political divide in the country. Musa Toliat in this report takes a look at the development in the National Assembly and what it portends for deepening democracy in Nigeria.
It is no longer news that Senator Bukola Saraki of the All Progressives Congress (APC) emerged unanimously as the Senate President, while Senator Ike Ekweremadu of the People's Democratic Party (PDP) was elected as the Deputy Senate President. Yakubu Dogara defeated Femi Gbajabiamila to emerge Speaker of the House of Representatives, while Yusuf Lasun is the Deputy Speaker. However, respondents believe that the development in the National Assembly is capable of strengthening the nation's democratic rule.
Absolutely democracy at work. It's not like that kind of a rubber stamp kind of a thing. And allow the people to express themselves.
The political party also, on the other hand, have a right to look at the popular demand of the people.
Former Special Advisor on National Assembly Matters, Senator Florence Itagiwa, however, says there is need for the ruling party to steer clear of any maneuverings and allow the National Assembly to settle into legislative duties.
So the best thing is to leave them alone and just watch out how it plays out and allow them legislate.
Senator Itagiwa therefore urged the executive to do everything possible to develop and nurture cordial relationship with the legislature.
Get the National Assembly members involved from the embryonic stage of any policy. You cannot have that change without the cooperation of National Assembly.
An astute businessman, an African industrialist, Aliko Dangote has charged entrepreneurs to invest in Africa to fast-track development on the continent. Aliko Dangote stated this at the commissioning of another multi-million-dollar Dangote cement plant in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. Jeno Jiku has a report.
Africa is endowed with abundant mineral, natural and human resources with the potential of being ranked among developed economies if properly harnessed. However, poor infrastructure, corruption and capital flight, among other challenges, have continued to hamper development in the continent, resulting in unemployment and poverty. To reverse this trend, the president and chief executive of Dangote Group said governments and the private sector should invest in the continent for its development.
It is not the job of government to develop, a country. Government will concentrate on infrastructure. Our entrepreneurs must learn to invest at home.
Dangote Group has, by way of investment, established cement factories in many African countries, with the latest cement plant in Ethiopia already in operation. The 2.5 million metric tons per annum cement plant has the capacity to provide more than 7,000 jobs, thereby creating employment opportunities for Ethiopians. He spoke on his expansion projects.
We are doing a gas pipeline which will now give about 3 billion scope of gas. The other one is the refinery, which we have, and the refinery, every PMS demand will meet. Kerosene will meet, aviation fuel will meet, and on top of that we have massive export because we are building 650 megawatts. 650 barrels per day.
Dangote Cement plans to become one of the world's largest cement producers. In Lagos, Jane Ujuku, NTA News.
Now, once I graduate with my degree, I am so leaving all this behind.
All this year will stop once I buy my car. Once I finish my MBA, I will have my promotion and my own office.
When I move into my new flat, then she go know say, levels don't change. It's time I started planning on building my own house.
In my time, university was not too expensive. But what choice do I have?
Once we can finish our new office building, the sky will be the limit.
At FCMB, we believe every day is a new opportunity. Let's help you step forward and take it. FCMB, my bank and I.
Let's welcome Ms. Harrison. She's a Colgate expert.
It looks like a friend is in pain.
Sam has a toothache.
It's because he has a hole in his tooth. Dentists call it a cavity. That's why I recommend brushing twice a day with new Colgate Maximum Cavity Protection plus sugar acid neutralizer. Imagine this is your tooth, and these are sugar acids that cause cavities. Colgate's unique formula helps eliminate sugar acids, protecting you from holes.
So how can we help prevent Sam's cavities? Colgate with sugar acid neutralizer to fight the #1 cause of cavities.
Brush with Colgate twice a day, every day.
Causes the body to sweat, which attracts germs that are easily passed from one person to another.
What keeps you so cool, man?
Dettol Cool combines Dettol's protection with added menthol to protect from germs. Cool gives you maximum protection against germs every day from head to toes and an invincible icy feel. For super cool confidence, use Dettol Cool. Maximum protection against germs every day.
Everyone says my son disturbs the compound with his drumming.
Whenever Princess starts, the neighbors do complain that her voice and the beats are too loud.
How else do you expect tomorrow's star drummer to behave?
Who is scared of the voices of tomorrow's superstars?
You are special in your way. It's me, like no other. No one else can do it like you. It's me, like no other. I play the drum. Like no other. I can sing. Like no other. I can dance. Like no other. I'm talented. Like no other. I can draw. Like no other. I can be myself. Like no other. With Indomie.
That must be a neighbor.
Why this noise? What's all this?
You are special in your way.
It's Indomie.
Like no other. No one else can do it like you. It's me, like no other.
Here's to all amazing moms who identify and nurture the uniqueness in our kids. Indomie noodles, tasty nutrition, good for you.
Thank you for staying with us on NTA Network News. The federal government's effort at diversifying the economy receives a boost as more foreign development partners indicate willingness to invest in the agriculture sector. Details with Vivian Idepefo on Business News. Over to you, Vivian.
Thank you and welcome to Business News segment. More foreign development partners have indicated willingness to tap into the federal government's policy on diversifying the economy for wealth generation and job creation. The Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the New Hope Group of China presented their proposal to the Nigerian Investment Promotion Commission and the Small and Medium Enterprise Development Agency, SMEDAN, in Abuja. At a roundtable meeting, the investors were assured of government support for ventures that would boost the nation's revenue base, particularly with the volatile oil prices.
By the time they come in, they go into our one-stop shop. We'll be able to find out the exact area of agriculture that they want to go in, and then it is our business to now link them, with the relevant farmer, the kind of agribusiness is into.
There's a big potentiality. That's why we come here for the site investigation, and this is the fourth day we are here. And during the last 4 days, we strongly felt that the market is very potential, and the people and the government all are very friendly and welcome our investment here. I have very strong confidence in this market.
And now to the stock markets, where activities on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange ended on a positive note after 3 days of bearish trading. That concludes Business News segment tonight. Thank you for being there. Good evening.
Thank you, Vivian. The Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC, has assured Nigerians of an end to the lingering fuel scarcity in the country. This followed measures taken by the Ministry of Petroleum Resources, NNPC, and other stakeholders to keep the nation wet with the product. The Group Managing Director of NNPC, Dr. Joseph Dawa, gave the assurance at the end of a fact-finding visit to some NNPC mega stations in Abuja. Lydia Sampson reports.
Of petroleum into the country, which was compounded by distribution challenges, particularly in the Lagos area. At an inspection visit for a first-hand situation on ground, the Group Managing Director of NNPC, Dr. Joseph Dawa, says NNPC is committed to bringing the field queues to an end.
By our calculation, actually, by this weekend, you will see substantially that these queues would have been reduced. And then, of course, moving into next week, we hope to actually eliminate the queues because the products are available and the trucks are moving them now. So the more and more products are coming into Abuja and other areas in the country.
The GMD was accompanied on the inspection by the MD PPMC Haruna Momo and MD NNPC Retail, had at the end of the inspection held a media briefing where he and other stakeholders say, as of now, the PPMC has PMS stock of 1.1 billion litres that can serve another 27 days.
With this level of stock, we have intensified our vessels and tracking operations to ensure that PMS
It's available.
It's only NNPC at the moment that is effectively importing products into the country. And NNPC is supposed to do about 50% of the PMS supply.
The GMD appealed to vandals to desist from vandalizing pipelines, as frequent vandalism contributes in disrupting supply and distribution of product across the country. In Abuja, Lydia Samson, NTA News.
Mina, in our Port Harcourt studio, brings us details of Governor Wike's meeting with the business community in Rivers State. Over to you, Mina.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Good evening and welcome to Port Harcourt. Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike has met with leaders of the business community in Rivers State to brainstorm on ways to position the state as the economic hub of the country. Oged Nyekwere now completes the story.
Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike acknowledged that there is need for continuous interface with the business community and the interests of the state. He said his administration is interested in men with business acumen who can function in key positions to drive industrialization. He promised that his administration will work towards tackling the problem of insecurity and multiple taxation, militating against business operations in the state.
It is key for us that we do everything we can to give you support and to make our own state economy at least to compete severely with Lagos State.
Leader of the delegation from the business community, Mr. Emi Membri Otaji, and President, Port Harcourt Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, Emeka Onachuku, said that Rivers State will become an investment haven if the main seaport is revitalized and the government's business structures built. They solicited government support in creating access to market and ensuring that professionals man the commerce and tourism ministries in the state. In Port Harcourt, Oged Nyekwere, NTA News.
The management of the University of Port Harcourt has cited academic acumen, leadership prowess, among other antecedents, as reasons for the decision to honor former President Goodluck Jonathan as first distinguished fellow of the university. This is scheduled to be the high point of the institution's 30th convocation ceremony and 40th anniversary. Onengie Fineface reports.
Born November 20, 1957, Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, Nigeria's first president, obtained his bachelor degree in zoology, master's degree in hydrobiology and fisheries biology, and doctorate degree in zoology, all from the University of Port Harcourt. He was a member of the pioneer class of 1981 from the University School of Biological Sciences. This route in the university, popularly called Shinipot, and its numerous iconic projects like the Goodluck Jonathan Department of Tourism and Hospitality Studies, the recently constructed Animal and Environmental Biology Department, the Goodluck Jonathan Hostel, the Patience Jonathan Center for Gender and Women Development Studies, and other support programs, rationalizes the decision of the university to honor him as its first distinguished fellow.
They say that his place in history is guaranteed. We think that his place in the University of Port Harcourt is etched in gold, and we will continue to use him as a reference model.
This honor is coming at a time when Uniport is celebrating 40 years as a university. From the University of Port Harcourt, Onengie Fineface, NTA News.
And that does it from Port Harcourt. Elizabeth, is back to you.
Thank you, Mina. A confusion appears to be emerging in the leadership at the National Productivity Center as two directors general were appointed within a few days by two different authorities of government. Correspondent Denis Adegulo is on top of the development and our reports.
On the 15th of May 2015, a letter signed by the former Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Anyim Paisa-Anyim, states that the former President, Goodluck Jonathan, approved the appointment of Dr. Faith Owabel Roberts as the new Director General of the National Productivity Center. 4 days later, in a letter dated 19th of May 2015, signed by the former Minister of Labour and Productivity, Senator Joel Danlani Ikenya, however, states that the former President has approved the appointment of Kashim Yanusa Ako as the Director General, and the appointee is said to have resumed. The former SSG then signed a letter dated 28th of May 2015 to the minister advising on the discrepancy. Dr. Roberts, however, assumed duty on the 11th June 2015 on the strength of the two letters referring to his appointment.
I knew I was duly and legally appointed as the DJ of this place, so I assumed that it was mere speculation and rumor because I'd fully resumed. My appointment letter was signed by the Secretary to the Federal Government, which to my reckoning is the duly constituted authority to issue a political appointment that has been approved by the President.
NTA News will keep you informed as developments unfold at the center. In Abuja, Dennis Adignloye, NTA News.
The 8th edition of the annual essay competition for secondary school students, organized by Kenneth Imaswabon, has held simultaneously across the 18 local government areas of Edo State and the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. Lawrence Okoje reports that students from public and private schools participated in the exercise.
This year's competition with the topic Tenacity and Resilience, the Buhari example for Nigeria children, is organized by the Abuja-based philanthropist and educationist to encourage students to sharpen their writing skills and to also channel their energies to productive use. The turnout in the centers monitored was impressive.
To test how much I can command the use of the English language in writing.
Gives everybody an opportunity to come out and test their ability.
Barrister Ken Imaswabon is known for so many things. He's a man of integrity.
He wants the students to use the Buhari example as a basis for their own determination, because contested for the election 4 times, not minding the fact that he has not been winning the election, he tenaciously continued. We want to see that in the life of these students.
Winners are expected to be given iPads alongside cash prizes. They will also be hosted to a luncheon party at the University of Benin. Meanwhile, the essay competition for students of higher institutions will hold across the 18 local government areas of Edo State. In Benin, Lawrence Okoje, NTA News.
Participants at the 19 states, local governments and other stakeholders conference have appealed to the state governments to allow handlers of Hajj affairs in their various states operate this year's Hajj. The participants said this is imperative in view of the advanced stage the preparations have reached, and that any change in the management of the Hajj at this time may affect the exercise. They noted that new governors have emerged in many states and the management of the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria. The conference said even though the new chairman of the Hajj Commission is not a new person in the sector, there are others who have joined the new management.
We are having new governors from states. They may like to change the Pilgrims Welfare Board in their state at this critical time. We appeal to allow those who have been handling the Hajj affair till now to at least end this year at Pilgrim, if at all there's going to be a change.
Dr. Abubakar Tanko, who represented the National Hajj Commission of Nigeria, said on its part, the commission has made significant progress in the preparation of this year's Hajj.
We urge the Muslim to be God-fearing and to avoid anything that is prohibited for them to do while in the Saudi.
A communique is expected at the end of the 2-day conference. We'll now take another break to bring you some messages, global tidbits and sports. Welcome.
Use the phone become millionaire. You never hear say NAFDAC don't bring wetin they call mobile authentication service. We go help us how we pay.